this class. In this class, I'm going to dwell on the topic music alphabets on staves. We have looked at music alphabets on treble or G, stave, with the G clef fixing it, and we have looked at the bass or F stave with the F clef fixing it. Now we are going to look at the two staves together with their letters, so that you will see all the musical alphabets that are on these staves, or that you can see on these two staves. It's important to understand how you read music alphabets. If you are new to music and you are new to reading music, you should understand how you read music alphabets. The first thing important to note is that music alphabets are only 7. 7 alphabets, which are A, B, C, D, E, F, G. These are all that you have in music alphabets. No other letter of the English alphabet involved. Number 2, that you have myriad of sounds, and this myriad of sounds are only represented by these 7 letters. How does that happen? They happen by repetition. And in music, repetition happens frequently. In fact, it's part of music. It means that the A, B, C, D, E, F, G that I have told you about are repeated over and over. And that's why you could see on the piano of 88 keys that we have what we call octaves. Octaves means the eighths. You go from one end of letter to another end of it. Maybe you have A, B, C, D, E, F, G. Then you have A starting again. And it kept repeating until we had 88 keys, being the standard of a standard piano. Now, coming away from the piano, let's get back to the stave. As you have it on the piano, so you have it also on the stave. Now, why are we interested in looking at the music alphabets on staves? Is so that you will know that when you are trying to start reading music, there is a correlation between the notes that you see on music staves and the positions you could actually pick them on the piano instrument. Why do I have to use the piano instrument? It's because you could visibly see the keys and understand when you have moved from one position or the other. Now, seeing that music sound moves by different gaps, which we call intervals. Now, those distances can only be visibly seen on the piano. And that's why sometimes when we show graphics of music letters, they present the keyboard instrument. The piano instrument helps readily for you to be able to see one-on-one the positioning of those letters. And so let's get into it. You are going to see different alphabets on the stave, and you're going to possibly see an interval ranging from below the bass stave and up to the treble stave. Below the bass stave, we have one line, which is E, and then we have F on a space before the first line. Then G comes on the first line of the bass stave. Then space following the A, then the B on the second line, the C on the second space, the D on the third line, then the E on the third space, then the F on the fourth line, and G on the fourth space, and we climb above the fourth space and we are on the fifth line. Above the fifth line we have B, and then we come across the middle C position. Above the middle C position we have the D. Then above the D we meet the first line of the treble stave. Above the first line we meet F, which is on the first space of the treble stave. Then G becomes the second line of the treble stave. Then A, second space of the treble stave. Then we have B, the third line of the treble stave. Then C is another C again of the treble stave, and that is the third space. Then we have the D on the fourth line and the E on the fourth space, and then we have the F on the fifth line, and above the fifth line we have G, and above G we have letter A. Pay attention to how they are going. It means that the alphabets are going upwards in alphabetical order. But if you want to read them downward, you are going to see that they are going anti-alphabetical, anti-clockwise. That means they are going in order, climbing up, and like they are going in disorder, climbing down. Now, if you don't understand this, it will not be easy for you to read the alphabets of music on the staves. There are only 7 of the English alphabets used in music, and they are often repeated higher or lower to represent the same sounds. And as I said, they are A, B, C, D, E, F, G. And they are all the sounds of music that we hear. Now when we look at the grand staff, you'll be seeing on the screen now the treble and the bass staff joined together, and you are seeing their letters. So all the letters of the treble and the bass staff, you could see them now lining up. You could see all the letters, and you could see the lines and spaces clearly having their letters. This first line lower, which is not part of the treble or the bass stave, and this first line higher, which is not part of the treble or the bass stave. As you could see the 5 lines of each stave individually, and there is no mentioning of any letter above. There's no mentioning of any letter below. This helps you to see the individual staves in isolation without crisscrossing from one stave to the other, either going up or coming down. Now, it's important that we should be able to know the letters. For example, you could see on this stave now, you have the treble staves notes, and then you have the spaces set out separately. F-A-C-E, spelling face. And then you have the bass star set out separately. You have good boy does fine always. And then you have the letters of the spaces set out separately. All cow eats grass. Now, these are the letters on the staves that you could clearly see without crossing into each other or moving from one onto the other. Because if you try to move from one stave to the other, it is then that you are streamlining the movement of the alphabet from bottom to the top. So this is very important for you as you are trying to understand how to read music on music staves. Very important that you understand these alphabets individually on different staves and in a combination on the two staves. Very important. Watch this next one with a keyboard describing the 3 different octaves of different letters. It shows also the repetitions. As I have said, the music alphabets are repeated. You could see repetitions happening here very clearly. On the screen, you will see that the letters started from the bass stave on a space below the first line, and then it ascended all up, and you came to above the bass stave, and you saw immediately after letter B that there was a letter called middle C. And that middle C position was shown on 2 different axes, 2 different points, in relation to the bass stave and in relation to the treble stave. It's important to understand that these 2 positions are the same pitch, the same sound position. They are the same letter, the same position of sound. But when we write them, we don't always put them in the middle. You write them in context, or you read them in context to the stave in which it is relating with, or from where it is coming from. If it's coming from the treble stave, you write it as in relation to the treble stave. If it's coming from the bass stave, you write it as relating with the bass stave. Now, this is very important to note, and you watch all the other alphabets going in that order until the last one. Very key to note how the alphabets are read when they ascend and when they descend. These are music alphabets on staves. You need to know this, and you need to memorize these music alphabets using the different acronyms that we have given. For example, as you see the screen now, every good boy does fine is for the treble stave lines. Face, F-A-C-E, is for the treble stave spaces. Good boy does fine always is for the bass stave lines. All cow eats grass is for the bass stave spaces. Memorize them, and then it will be easy for you to see when music notes comes on the staves. So with these notes on the grand staff, we are coming to the end of this lesson. If you have not subscribed to this channel, please do subscribe, because this lesson is intended to reach many people, and the more you subscribe, so the YouTube is recommending it to people. So do us that good to subscribe. But when we see that there are many people viewing the lessons but not many people subscribing, it's not an encouragement. So please do subscribe because you are encouraging us by subscribing. Every lesson we have taught is important and they are progressive. If you have not watched others, go and watch them. They will help you to understand each one that you are watching next. Keep studying. Music is what you know. And so till then, have a nice day.